line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you back here to PTM Racing TV, where we're now live here today and tonight. If you want to say it here tonight, we are here, Southern California's Auto Club Speedway, for tonight's action of the RTC iRacing League Pro Series, as they bring out the drivers here in their main event here roster tonight. Let's get down to business and get down to the show. It's good to have you all on board here tonight. Let's get down. Let's see who we got on our list here as we get ready to go racing here at Auto Club Speedway. I got everyone. I'm Christian Crusader Driver. Welcome back to the show, and here it is right now. Your grading order right at the moment. Brendan Kohler in the number 36 is going to be your number 1 guy of the pot, and outside of him will be the A's in the booth in the number 2. Row 2, it's going to be Jared Darling there, and the number 1 is outside. That's the number 95, last week's feature winner, Parker White. Row number 3 is Tyler Kahn, the 33, and it has outside. That's Justin R. Smith, 66. Row number 4, it's Mason David Chase and Thompson, the 81, and it is outside. That is the Ferrari, Connor Trafari. Row number 5 is Sartaj Mann, and the number 49 is outside. Tyler Justice, the number 12. Row number 6, Keelan Belsha, and the 18 will rocket it outside of him. Ryan Beckering in the number 4. Row number 7, we're going to see here will be Wes Weidman, the 85 is outside. Mike Cambeyo, the 24. Row number 8 is Christian Swenson, and the number 11 is outside. Jonathan Leach, the 48. Row 9, it's Daryl the Big Dog Arnold, the number 6 is outside. Brady Burgertime Weileman, the 44. Row number 10, it's Anthony Gagitano there, and the number 69 is outside. Tyler No, and the 017. Row 11, I don't even know if that's actually supposed to be in here or not, but Radio Sweetheart in the 91 is outside. Eddie Sprill in the 27. Row number 12, Sean Powell in the 97 is outside. Mitch Hobbs, the 89. Row number 9, the Big Dog, or excuse me, no, hold on a minute. The Radio Sweetheart kind of made me lose track here, folks. I'm sorry. Okay, row number 13 is Joseph Costello, there's 60, and heads outside. Dennis Ansman in the 3. And finally, Tim Rivers in the 23 will rocket it outside of him, being Jason Sanders in the 25. All right, here we go. Solid lineup and solid roster here tonight to do battle here. 28 of the best drivers from the RTC iRacing League in general There's a reason they call these guys the Pro Series. Ready to go at it here tonight. Ready to go at it and fight them on down. Joshua Medlock saying hello, PTM, aka Christian. Oh, appreciate tuning on in, Joshua. And Richard LeGrang saying go Jeff Oaks. Richard Jeffrey is not in with us here tonight, my friend. We do not have Jeff Oaks in with us on the show. That would be on the Thursday. That'd be on the Sunday night in races. Sorry for the confusion there. Note this is the RTC iRacing League, so. But if you do stick around here for next Sunday, not this Sunday, we'll have a little break for the Pedal and Metal Racing League. They'll have the week off, but we will be seeing them return for one last race. Their season championship main event comes just 2 weeks from now as we get ready to go at it here. We're only 3 weeks in here with the race, but the action is packed. The stars are burning up, and it's time to go race into our first caution. Okay, who false started it and who messed up the starting grid here, guys? I swear on my grave that I did not even think that it was going to happen that quickly, but something got messed up. What happened? Who false started it? Who did not start them where they're supposed to? Somebody speak up now or forever hold your peace. I'm not going to do this all night. Apparently they think I will. Lori Bennett in the booth here coming on board here tonight saying go Hayes Booth. Joshua Medlock saying got Dennis Ansman. Don't hit the wall. Good luck though to everyone. Well, there's your boy Dennis Ansman there in the Wrangler number 3 Chevrolet Camaro. Good to see him back out onto the track here. And then Lori Bennett, you heard earlier, rooting on her boy there in the number 2, Hayes Booth. Field currently, I'm trying to figure out what the heck happened and why we had a false start. I think it might be a good idea to bring in a little friend of ours who knows a thing or two about trying to explain to us what happened on the start here. Go ahead and bring him in now real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the big dog, Daryl Arnold. Daryl, you got a copy down there, sir?
I do, Christian. How are you?
Oh, doing pretty good here tonight, my friend. But we got a quick question here in the broadcast booth. What the heck happened at the start, man? We had we were getting ready, we're pumping the crowd up, and then we went, and then we stopped.
I don't know. There's not a lot being said on the radio right now, but I have a feeling I'm going to find out in just a minute. Also, real quick note, Radio Sweetheart is Kyle Camper. He did not mean to change his nickname in iRacing today, so it's probably showing up in your ticker tape that way.
Let's just say, yeah, like, made me gotta go check her out of here, and I was trying to make sure like that wasn't actual a joke, but
We'll give you a little bonus tonight if you actually can fit that in somewhere.
ask you shall receive. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, goodness. Anyways, I hope we have a good race once we get going. I'm looking forward to it. We got a lot of highly skilled drivers in the Pro Series. Again, as I said last time, some up in the 7,000 I rating range. So a lot of them have been on the platform since its inception, which is really cool. And we hope we put on a good show for everybody at home tonight.
Well, you got a big crowd on hand ready to see this one go at it down there. So, Big Dog, we'll let you do the talking and the driving, and we'll see how this one plays out at Southern Cali.
Thanks, Chris. Take care.
You too. The Big Dog, ladies and gentlemen, Daryl Arnold having a little word with us right now as we're currently getting our drivers situated back out on the track. Since we are under a caution break here, I think we'll just get this out of the way real quick, have a little talk with some of our drivers. Got a lot of them to go through, so let's start them back up here. Let's go ahead and bring in the number 2 of Hayes Booth. And Hayes, I kind of figured already you knew we were going to come for you.
I did.
So right now, obviously, you got a little bit of love from the gals and the boys here in the comments section. A lot of them rooting you on here out of the start, but a little false start here on the starting here for at Auto Club. How is the track going to be playing out though for you and your crew, knowing you got a custom setup to work with?
Well, we'll say car definitely handled great in practice. Ran about a 35-ish lap run in practice and handled fairly well, I'd say. Got some confidence here. We got, 3 of the 4 Walter Esports guys started in the top 3, or still in the top 3 for this race. So definitely some confidence for our team here. So feeling good about tonight. Kind of sucks that we had that false start there. We had just gotten going, and before we even get to turn 1, caution comes out. So hopefully we can get things figured out here and have a good, clean race.
Hope so too there, but nevertheless, Hayes, you got the crowd on hand, you got the fans behind your support. Best wishes to you down there with the Walter Esports crew.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the number 2, Hayes, in the booth. having a little talk with us here tonight as the comment section having a little fun down there. Joshua Beach, don't be too cheeky down there. I need to keep Lori around so at least Hayes stays in check. Sandy Volm Richard saying go Hayes. Okay, well I guess I got a little more love for Hayes here tonight. And then Sydney Phillips supposed to be coming in here and come yell for Hayes here in that chat. Great to have you all on board tonight, ladies. And Joshua still just making sure he knows he's still going to mess with everybody here tonight. Okay, well, you do that, sir. I'll keep an eye on you for that matter all night long. Nah, just kidding. Y'all have fun down there, but do keep it respectful in the comment section. I do look at these things, despite what other YouTubers and broadcasters may say. I do actually look at the comment section to try and give you a little bit of love down there, guys. So earlier on, just a little heads up here for those at home that are a little confused. Yes, the 91 there, the Napa Auto Parts machine, that radio sweetheart of his, that is Kyle Camper. So be warned that it is not the Spygate on the Valentine's Day massacre. No, this is the legit radio sweetheart down there. He is actually on the track. That is Kyle Camper. So do not worry. We know who it is, but don't be surprised if I give him a little bit of fun every now and then here. So I'll save my jokes for him later. I got a few in line. Also, just heads up, there are 28 drivers on the track, so I can't keep going back and forth to the very end of the back without some of the cars disappearing. So be aware of that. Trust me, we've been trying to figure out how to do that and get more, cars on. But every time it seems like we do, it messes up with our settings on the video quality, and we don't want that to happen. So be warned. I'm trying. We're getting it figured out. But nevertheless, guys, you can see the pace truck's lights turned off. Finally, we are ready to get the drivers back into position. I think we're ready to go here. See Wally Bennett coming on board here tonight. Sean Bounty on the chat here tonight. Good to hear from you there again, sir. Back crowd on hand here tonight. Back crowd in the boys section right now. The field is ready to set charge and take pace and take aim. Southern California's Auto Club Speedway has given us results before. Will tonight be the same ordeal? The RTC iRacing League Pro Series is about to commence their run, hopefully, as long as we don't have another false start down there. Brendan John Kohler, the number 36. Kohler! I love it. I don't know why I like saying Kohler like that, but it sounds so good. I love it. That 36 Toyota Supra is going to be a race leader at the start, representing with the Walter Esports crew. They'll take the charge down out of turn 4 here, down to the green flag they go. Send them your way. We're ready to go down here in Southern Cali. Soletta, Jackson Williams getting on board, and Sean Bounty having a little fun down there, saying the truck makes the cars look like toys out there. Yeah, that's what my G29 feels like compared to a T300 right about now. Now on board camera here with one of our youngsters there, the number 9, Colin Ferrari. Ferrari have a little bit of company there of Mason Heavy Tracy Thompson right up front now, trying to fight him down as they come on in to turn 3. Remember, these drivers are running on a custom setup, so there are no issues to regard on trying to get too loose. They set them up basically so that they can hold them down and give them some good speed, and they will definitely impress with these 3 wide sleuths in between. Down across the front straightaway here, every driver for themselves as they fight their way in. The 89 to Mitch Hobbs trying to hold his line down. While at number 49, Sartaj, man, tries to hang in there. One of the Nebula Esport guys trying to keep up the distance, keep up the pace. A little bit of a run back in the pack here as well. Field currently just trying to charge and make a move here or two when they can find it. 33 there, that is Tyler Kahn, no relation to the rattlesnake Robert Kahn. You may see on the Streets Pedal the Metal Racing League again for Sundays or Thursday nights, depending on when you watch them. No, this is a different kind of Kahn. This is the, I call him the Kahn man in this case, the number 33. Because he's pretty good at conning people out of a race win when he feels like it, because he's just that fast on getting away from the police. But in this case, there is only one thing that can be noted, is that he must be brought to justice eventually, and essentially you have Tyler Justice running on board. Yes, that is the number 12 gearhead. That is Tyler Justice, the Chevrolet Camaro, now moving ahead a little bit as he charges up for a 6th place battle here with Mason Davis, Jason Thompson. While the 66 of Justin R. Smith has a little bit of a field view right now of what is going on behind him. Teams are always tested here on our show, and they're always put to their fullest of potentials, but I feel like tonight may just be a bit of a different stake or a different story here for some of these drivers. Again, with this track here, Auto Club Speedway, this is a track that normally on a fixed setup, you want to try to run the track. You want to try to run the track in a little smoother into entry, and not over accentuate the car outside as you go out into the exits with these Xfinity Series cars. But here with these Pro Series setups, they obviously can do a custom divert. They can customize them to their liking, make sure that they don't have to worry about that necessarily. So then it becomes a long-term and short-term run. So they can build up a lot of speed and build up a lot of power. But therein lies also the bigger issue of Auto Club Speedway, which is still you have to watch the tires. And this track here tonight, man, this is literally a tire burner setup. This will not play nice to everyone, and it will not play nice to everybody. This is going to be basically whoever can survive the longest and whoever can push up the farthest is the one that's going to survive out here. Go on board here now with the 89 of Mitch Hobbs. Hobbs on the inside, a little pretty wide to lose here. The number 9 car, the Ferrari to Ferrari, bringing it right up onto him. Whoa! How he almost saved that one completely. Travari's still on the grass. Hang on, buddy. Woo! He had a landslide that one through the grass. Oh my! You could almost sense that might have been coming. Unfortunately, though, for the number 9. That sets him back a few spots here. We'll take a look at the PTM Instant replay from another angle here as they were going around that corner. What a tough break, though, right as they were marching their way out. Both drivers kind of collided in. Neither one getting the advantage there or getting any better shot out of it. Look at that. See Tyler Conn up high side. Connor's trying not to bring it down too much, but you can see the 89 there. Mitch Hobbs brings it up just slightly enough. And look at Hobbs. He had to literally dirt track that thing back onto the asphalt so he could get some ground and get some clearance. And the 9, unfortunately, ending up into the grass. And no, this isn't a pass in the grass. This is more or less just a where the heck did I go kind of go in the grass kind of moment. Boy, what a tough break there for our drivers here. Unfortunately, the guys up front still racing as hard as ever and racing as well as ever, but you can just tell right now this track is not going to play nice for those that try to defy its momentum. John Bowdy, I think, was trying to insinuate or at least act like how the drivers were in the chat here tonight. I'm not saying that on camera because I may make it sound a little bit worse for wear, to be honest with you. That's why I don't say things too much when Bounty's on the round. That's all I got to say about that. Sorry, Bounty. Speaking of Mitch Hobbs right now, he's back up into the field here trying to make up for lost ground and time. He's going to have a lot of power burned up there on that bottom end. He's got Dennis Hansman, the number 3 Wrangler Chevrolet Silver Camaro, right in his power sight and in his mind here. And if you want to talk about guys that have ran some famous schemes, I don't think really, besides other than that big black scheme out there, that I think I remember a scheme that is so well notarized from the very late ages of when NASCAR racing really started to pick up in momentum and popularity. I was honestly, that Wrangler number 3, that was the very first scheme I ever witnessed, actually. Yeah, it was basically I was at my great-grandparents' place one time, and she brought out a car because she knew I liked blue and yellow. And at the time, those were my favorite colors, and that's what the first scheme I ever saw on a race car. Never actually got to see the car live and in person, but I can't say I have seen the late great number 3's 2000 style car out there, not the 2001. Make no bones about that one. I have seen the 2000 version though, but still have yet to ever see the number 3 on its primordial stage, if you will, on its own. So I'm kind of hoping maybe one day that changes, but got to get a lot more NASCAR events when we get the chance. So. Oh, Bounty was mimicking my 3-watt call. Oh, very funny. Kyle Durbin saying, haha, love watching. Good job, Christian. Go get them, boys. Kyle, appreciate you tuning on board here tonight, buddy. Speaking of tuning on board, how about this? New leader in the number 2 there, Hayes Booth. Gets a little pass on around his teammate, Brendan John Kohler, the number 36, unfortunately. Kind of falling back a little bit here. Going to have some work to do. While the number 1 of Jared Darling currently tries to push Hayes Booth up into the zone and a little bit more ahead of the drivers. You may be wondering, why are they pushing as hard as they are right now? Well, I think I might have an answer for that one, and it just so happens to be the guy who has a little thing or two about winning races and not caring about who is in his way. That's that number 95, Parker White. Him and his crew, last time they was here, they were absolutely guns blazing dominant. To put it nicely, to put it really as equally as I can, they were just all out that race at Rockingham. When they got a good charge in, they went for it and they went big. And tonight, really, we are not seeing anything different here as the drivers battle it out for the race lead. Booth and Darling, as well as Kohler, trying to just keep White away from them, if they will. They know if he gets a runoff on him and he gets a little more speed, it's very, very difficult to get ahead again and pass him as fast as he did it to you. Looking at the front end, though, I'm not sure. Does White maybe have a little damage on the front stretch, on the front end of that thing? Looks kind of elevated, doesn't it? Maybe it's just my eyes. I don't know. Producers, give me a camera on that one, would you? Thank you. Maybe it's just the way the logo is designed, I guess. I don't know. That doesn't necessarily look like any damage is on there. I think it's just the way the logo is. Unless all of a sudden he did a Twister Sister meme on that front end and make it a little faster, which that's very illegal. The only time I can really remember a car like that being that kind of set up and that design was, I believe it was like a couple of years ago with Kevin Harvick with the aeroflow on the back end of his windshield. Basically had on the windshield on his rear windshield. Actually, what had happened was actually when they got wind, it actually would deflect the wind back down so we get more speed, so the air wouldn't deflect in. But also another, probably a better example, if you will, would be literally when you saw the T-Rex car of Jeff Gordon on the track there. Even NASCAR famously told Ray Abraham and Jeff Gordon, you better never bring that car ever back to another NASCAR event again. And then, of course, if you want to talk about cars that really have become infamous and famous, at least for the design of the way they were changed up and all that, who can forget, of course, our good friend and old Junior Johnson and his banana number Ford. That big yellow banana Ford, that thing on plate tracks, it was designed to basically cut through the air, and it was so loose that even the drivers that drove it, they said point blank, that thing is fast, but holy cow, is it loose. I still remember stories about that, and you know, we're hearing about how that story came to be, and it actually still is. The car itself is in the Hall of Fame, if you will, down in Concord, North Carolina, or Charlotte, North Carolina, I should say. There you can actually see the car itself and what really became of it and what started the whole trend and all that for these guys. So I'll even say Junior Johnson pretty much wrote every rule in the rule book these days because of what he did and how he managed to bend the rules out. But hey, as they say back in the day, you ain't winning if you ain't cheating. Currently, right now, our radio sweetheart, number 91, Kyle Camper, is in the very back far end of the spectrum here, not on the track no longer. That's a darn shame. I was kind of hoping for a little Valentine's Day present from the radio call from his end. Hayes Booth right now, the number 2 and the 36 of Mr. Kohler here. Brendan John Kohler trying to hold off the runs coming up from behind Jared Darling and Parker White, both in line and in sight to take advantage here. And it looks like here the number 12, Tyler Justice, part of the crew down there for the Phase 2 Motorsports, is trying to show him up a little bit and trying to work for his team and get them going. He's got Christian Swenson and Sean Powell in that team right now, but he is going up against maybe one of the toughest drivers to beat, and Parker White. Looks like he wants to try and knock him down a few pegs and show up a few of these drivers here. But again, just looking at the way they're driving, a lot of them seem like they're pushing these cars a little too hard on the tire limit and more or less trying to accentuate their speeds over everything else. I don't know if that's going to necessarily be a good long-term strategy, if that's a smart move. Because again, you're literally talking about trying to deal with a track that has much speed and much power that comes forth here, especially with the kind of runs that you get with a little 3-wide slope mixed in between coming out of turn 2. Guys, right now, fastest speeds wise here, we're looking pretty solidly. The 40s are going to be your key number, and a 40.95 for Hayes Booth just goes to show you how fast that young man is right now behind the wheel. His teammate Jared Darling, though, is still right there with him and trying to help him out when he can. So as we continue the battles here right into the field, I'm going to remind you guys at home that we do have our YouTube end and also our PTM Racing TV store merch area. You can check all that out and check all the listings I have down in the comment section down below to see what all we got in store for you. But if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube so you can see this race in its entirety, and your friends and family that haven't seen it, well, you can share it around with them there. If you don't have Facebook, I'll have the replay and all that up from the broadcast on YouTube right after the racing call tonight. So no worries about that here. You'll have plenty of ways to view this one and plenty of ways to see it. Whether you like to do Facebook or you like to do YouTube. And of course on our Facebook, if you guys would keep like and following us up here. We're almost hitting a milestone on our end, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of thinking about doing a giveaway if we can get to 500 subscribers and maybe 3,000 followers. I don't know, I'm kind of thinking about it. I gotta talk with the boss about that one. See what they thinks about that. Maybe we can work something out with you guys. And you work something with us, we'll work with you. How about that? We'll see. I don't know. We'll try to figure it out. Right now, Wes Wyman there, the number 85, currently right behind there, the 18 of Keelan Belsha, one of the younger drivers as well out here. Remember, a lot of these drivers on this circuit, on these races here, especially in the RTC iRacing League, these aren't your typical, like, run-of-the-mill, just average day workers or guys that just come on out here and just have a few beers and just have a good race and, you know, obviously win some points in leagues. These are young, up-and-coming drivers that could lead to maybe the next William Byron, could lead into the next Tyler Reddick, or, you know, even Austin Dillon's, they're even higher, maybe even more so. They could be as fast and as good as a Kyle Larson. There is so many youngsters, literally ranging from age 14 to age 21, and then some of the older guys that still hang around, that have been around as long as 10 years, as you heard from the big dog Darrell Arnold talking about. There are multiple, you know, age groups and divisions, but really there is no limits and there is no divisional reason why you can't come out here and put on a bit of a fight and come out and put a bit of a run on the track. And we're seeing that exactly, and then some, right here and now. Justin R. Smith right now, currently the guy that is behind the whole big field of Packer drivers, waits for the race lead. Tyler Justice taking over the lead there from Hayes Booth. Going to be interested to see how well that plays into the strategy, how well that plays on out, as our favorite radio sweetheart now comes back onto the racetrack. Fielding it back down in right now. Currently, my producers, get that stuff out of here. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know why the producers got a little greedy there. I think they were just trying to have a little fun with the old Kyle Camper down there. I was about to say, we're trying to call a race here. We got a little bit of a fight going on here as Darling and Kohler once again. They may be teammates, but remember, that doesn't mean anything in racing. You may be teammates. That doesn't mean you can't still try to run the distance or walk a mile when you're trying to run a sprint. Now, this is really still, you're out here racing for yourself, your friends, your family, and everything else. There's still points on the line for yourself only, and also at the end of the season, you know, there is prizes on the line. So there's no reason why you shouldn't go out here and try to put up a little fight. The only reason you got teams out there, it's just for bragging rights and team points. But also, teams-wise, they are designed really to help you out and help out yourselves. So, I mean, sometimes that makes for a good offensive, defensive fight and coordination. But I mean, as a driver, to me, I wouldn't want anything to do with that kind of stuff. It'd be more or less you're out there fighting on your own. The only time you use teams is when you're trying to draft, try to help each other out and get up to the front. We've seen here before where just a little bit of defensive maneuvering and defensive power really makes a difference. It can make for a good showing on the field. But I have also noticed before as well that if you get a little too offensive and a little defensive, sooner or later somebody's going to bounce back at you and fight a little bit on that one. Hayes Booth right now is definitely slowing up a bit as Parker White. You can see him already starting to just kind of build up the run, build up the momentum. Parker right now rocking 35s here. Looks like another 30, up a 47 there for Hayes Booth, getting a 48 out of the 48s of 100, by the way. Currently same time basically as on the 41, on the 42 second marker. No pain, no game here around these parts here. Everybody's still looking to outmaneuver and outspot the other. Look back in the field right now. We have our eyes now on the number 11 of Christian Swenson. And the Gearhead crew is starting to make the charge, starting to build up a little bit of speed down there. Look like they want to catch up to him, catch up quickly. The 60 of Joseph Costello there, you may have noticed, unfortunately, he's having all sorts of problems here tonight. Damage on that front end and having to go into pit road now. Hopefully maybe he can buck out some of that damage on the front end. The car is a little bit hurt, a little worse for wear, if you will. Looks like White might be getting a little bit tired here with that number 2 of Hayes Booth, also getting closer and closer to the pit road strategies. This is where things really start to play out and start to really get interesting. Tammy Reed coming on board here tonight as well, running on for Keelan Belsha and the number 18 machine we talked about earlier. We'll show you here what he's at the moment here, while currently we're still just focusing on this battle of Parker White and Hayes Booth. Both right now trying to hopefully knock down maybe the toughest, the baddest driver on the face of the RTC iRacing League. And again, I say that with all due respect to Tyler Justice, because we saw what White did last season, where he would just completely annihilate and destroy anything that got in his way. If he got the run in for a race, he was going to be the man to beat. A lot of drivers told me earlier they have practiced, they have worked harder than ever to get even close to what they do and what they've been playing out on. They said their only struggle is just trying to maintain and build up speeds around the parks. 10 seconds back there, there is the 18 Keelan Belsha as the 85 of the mayor himself, Wes Weidman, starts to pull up. Weidman right now, the 85, one of the veterans here. We've seen him from the very, very start of these racing events and this series that we ever started broadcasting for. That was back when we were under the flyby moniker with these guys, but that had changed when, of course, the Race Tech Coatings iRacing had formed and developed. And ever since then, to me, it's just been a whole lot of racing, and a whole lot of moments to kind of talk about and go through from the very beginning. Of course, one of them being the fact that Keelan Belsha having one of those strong showings, strong races. He's had a couple of great top 3, top 5 podiums. We've seen also Wes Weidman, the mayor himself. He has also got a couple of wins in on the circuit. Certainly one of the favorites there on the track, no matter where you go. But at the moment right now, unless he's currently trying to see how long he can test his tires and his car out, he's losing a lot of ground time up there on the top 5, top 6 half right now. But we did notice something last time we were here, which was back with the Fast and Fun Champion Power Equipment Series. As those guys, what they did is that you saw folks, a lot of the folks kind of in the mid-pack literally stretch out. They would go further and further back, whereas the folks were running hard up front. They seemingly were going to win this one just off basically sheer speed alone. But then when they went into pit road, they went about a lap and a half down. And those that were in the mid-pack, they actually literally were saving and conversing the tires and the fuel for a full 45, 50 lap run if you were able to do it. Some were able to do it as long as they used that draft, where others, they weren't able to keep up the speed, to keep up necessary needs to stay in that position and stay in that chance. Here tonight, though, I mean, if I'm going to be honest with you, folks, so far I'm not seeing anybody making too big mistakes or too big of an issue here. I think they've been very focused and very considerate what they need to do and how they need to handle the nerves and how they handle the car out there. Now it just turns into the waiting game, is whether or not when you go into pit road and when is the right time to set the pit road. As Tyler knows, the number 017 looks like the Air Jordan's Nike Camaro is unfortunately going to get put a lap down here as the boys there in the Walter Esports and the WL Esports guys charge right ahead. Tyler Justice still literally 3 seconds back ahead of the whole field. He is your race leader, and you know, I don't say this too often, but take a look at this. You know, for a driver that's got a 7,000 I rating as well to his name, he's putting it to Parker White right now. White actually is struggling to catch him. Look at this. He's already got another 1/10 of a second on him already. Now again, if Justice is literally going to go for the halfway point and then head into pit road, I got to be honest with you. I think right now this might be the racetrack that I think Justice has been waiting for quite some time now. I think really this is the track that he wants to run on, that he wants to have the biggest advantage on and really give himself a fair shake. And right now he's showing why he can do that. On back road with our resident sweetheart, and he's a little too sweet. Gave the wall a few kisses or two. I don't think you're supposed to kiss the wall that much, buddy. There's a thing called wall banging around here, and kids, close your ears if you don't know what that means. You don't want to know. I think we might have just turned this broadcast into a rated R film. Unfortunately, I'm sorry for the parents at home. I know there's kids there. I know there's kids in the league, but I think they'll get them a joke when they caught that off. So. Well, anyway, back up in the front end of the spectrum here right now. One of those other guys I mentioned earlier on there that was working with the crew down in Phase 2 Motorsports, Mr. Sean Powell, is at number 97, trying to get back up there with his teammate there in the number 12, Tyler Justice, while Christian Swenson, excuse me, not far off as well. Only about 2 spots back now as he moves it up into the 8th spot. He's got a run there on the number 66 of Justin R. Smith. One more position, and then he'll literally get back up there with Sean Powell. And it looks like the Gearhead crew is starting to brew up the coffee, starting to brew up a little creamer, kind of get it nice and toasty. Make sure that there's a little double espresso in there, because you got to put the turbos on your charge and make your heart pound a little faster and move his way up to the front. 6 and 7 right now is looking to be Phase 2 Motorsports' career net connection here. Now can they get connected in with the draft and start to push up there with Tyler Justice, because Parker White and Garrett Darling and Hayes Boop and Brendan Kohler will not give them an inch if they don't have to. So Taj, man, that number 49 having a little duel here with the 66 of Justin R. Smith. Gives a car to reel them in. Every driver for themselves. No gimmies around here and no chances for mistakes. It's either you win or you lose. And survival is key here. Sartaj, man, again, a couple weeks ago, made his television debut. And boy, was it great to see him pop on board here and have a good showing here on his end. One of the better known guys, and one of the faster guys out on the track. Certainly could put up a great fight and put on a great show here when he ran out with the best of them. And I gotta admit, man, he was definitely putting up some speed and put on some runs when we seen him race it out. Well, it wasn't too for sure, to be honest, though, if he was going to be able to keep that speed, keep that distance. But right now, doing a pretty good job here. Justin R. Smith, the 66, still trying to fight it out there with Sartaj, man, as we look back up to the front here. And again, Parker White and Jared. I'm not even saying Parker White in second place and really having to trail up to somebody, but that's kind of the case right now. Tyler Justice is just completely dominating this one. Although now it looks like maybe Parker is starting to build up a little bit of speed on him. Starting to close the gap somewhat. And as I say that, there's really 0.2 of a second gain on White once more. So that was completely out of the question. I think he was hearing the call to justice, and now he is bringing the man he feels like that needs to be brought to justice. Might as well call him the Batman of our timeline here in this race. He's not the hero that we need, but the hero that RTC feels they deserve. Sean Powell now has literally gone up there with the Walter Esports crew, and honestly, the fact they still have yet to hit into pit road, to be honest with you, I'm trying to understand, are they going to be able to do the fall long run? You know, again, you can do a good run here on this track, and you keep the fuel and tires at bay, but I mean, when do you decide to go into pit road, and do you try to risk speed over consistency? Because again, they went out for about 5 or 6 laps before we finally got to the green flag here, and ever since then it's just been green flag run and basically fight it out amongst yourselves. I presume they'll have to go in eventually here, sooner rather than later, but I don't know, to be honest with you. Let's take a look at our pit strategy right now, and this is how it looks at the moment. Again, there's a whole list here of drivers still in this one. But nevertheless, here you can see everybody that has been in that top half and that top spot gets to go into pit road, even with the caution brake. So I feel like they designed these cars to really withstand and really obtain a full length strength run. And with that in mind, they're trying to make sure they keep the bottom, they're trying to keep the bottom end, the top shelf and everything, and they're trying to keep that both in play. But I mean, at the same time, it's like you just gotta wonder, is it going to be able to hold up that long, and who will blink first? We've seen it here before where you can get a good start, but if you can't finish, then the race is kind of pointless. And it looks like Tyler, I was wondering if he's going to slow down there, and at last he is slowing down, so he'll be the first to blink. And Parker White's going to fall in from behind. Darling, Powell all go in. Does Swenson go in? Yes, he does. Sartaj Man, and I think Ryan Beckering might be the only one to stay out here. He's really a good chunk of the field back in the pack here, though, that's for sure. Okay, so now while they go into pit road, has Beckering already been into pit road? That's kind of my question here. I'm not getting a number on him real quick here. He has gone 47 laps straight. Honestly, I think he might be the only one that's outlasting everybody right now. I think he's really just going full length run. He is indeed. He's going to go into the first. He's going to go into the race lead. He's not going in. So Ryan Beckering, the number 4, is going to be your new race leader. So that's going to be a bit of that's going to be an interesting situation for some of these drivers to pop up, as our resident sweetheart now Paul's up right behind. I wonder if he's telling any of the radio guys down there anything sweet at them, like saying, "Oh, you're doing so good down there, guys. It's okay, doing great. Keep up all the speed. Keep up everything you're doing. You're doing so good. Oh my goodness, I know you can do it. You can do it. Keep it going. Keep it on the track." I don't know if that's actually true or not, but I can say if that is the case, then you may want to rethink your strategy there, Kyle Camper. And yes, for the record, I was not going to let him get by on the fact that his name is Radio Sweetheart. I was going to eventually make a joke or two out of it, even before Big Dog Darrell even mentioned anything about it. You don't blow opportunities like that away, folks. I know it's not totally professional, but you gotta have a little bit of fun in the broadcast. That's the only. Otherwise, it's just too serious. It's not fun anymore. Motorsports are just way too chaotic to be too serious. You gotta have a little bit of fun with them. So right now, as we have a little bit of fun with them, though, we are back onto the playing field and back onto the track with drivers trying to accentuate the speeds again over the consistency. And right now, you see a little bit of damage there that popped up on the right side. That 24 of Mike Cambeo. Cambeo rocking a bit of a scheme, I would presume. Very familiar to some out there. To me, it looks like a very obvious thing of Kyle Larson's scheme we saw as they'll be rocking the Valvoline schemes. Very solid looking ride, very sweet looking ride, and can't wait for the throwback schemes to pop up around here. The Darlington Raceway is having the Southern 500 coming up very, very soon. This week, as a matter of fact. And from here on out, actually, it does start our NASCAR playoff contentions and our races. Still got a ways away to go, though, for the RTC playoffs once more. But I can say this, man, last season it was a very interesting little season there, with Aiden the Iceman Kirker finally knocking off something that he's wanted to do on his resume and on his list for so long. You know, again, I was glad to see him finally get that little curse off his back, that little monkey off his back he struggled with for so many years. If there was ever a driver that certainly deserved it, I feel like it was him that night. Coming across back onto the front straightaway here, we can confirm there is a new race leader here once again. Parker White and Tyler Justice, individually 1 and 2 at the moment. Justice being the number 12 in the gear head with the race lead, and then the 95 there, Parker White, still hanging in there around here. And then, of course, you can't count those Walter Esports crew. We talked earlier from Hayes booth, and you heard him say that the crew was ready to do battle on lock horns here tonight. They certainly have been, but I mean, again, they've had a great car, but it doesn't seem like they have as much speed or consistency as some of the others have had throughout this event tonight. Con the Ferrari Trafari, another one of those guys. Well, we heard from him earlier. You know, you saw get basically kind of tangled up. It was really the only time we could have had a possible caution even come up, and it was between him and Mitch Hobbs. Mitch kind of just driving up slightly as Connor was trying to bring it down back into a stable spot. That's one of the hard challenges and disadvantages that Auto Club has on these tracks. It's a very wide open banked area, but it's also a very wide open mess of an area, and if you're not careful, eventually somebody will make you pay for trying to run in a certain spot and a certain line too many times. You can see even now that it is starting to fall back on him just a little bit. Brendan John Kohler trying to get ahead of him and take him down another lap here. Oh Lord, with the speed they take through those corners, man, that is just phenomenal stuff. You can just hear that motor on RPMs just revving out to its fullest potential, its fullest capacity. There is not a single driver or fan in this broadcaster booth that does not know that feeling of rush you get when you hear that motor come alive and you hear the roar of the engine just spark up. It is by far one of the most beautiful things you hear in all of racing and auto motorsports. And Auto Club Speedway is definitely giving us a show and a fight and a half here. Packed crowd on here tonight in Southern California. Just watch these drivers on. As they're watching the youngsters and the veterans here having to lock horns and do battle here. Nobody getting the advantage or getting any chances for missed opportunities. They all strike when they can and fight for everything they shot. Little thing to note too here about Auto Club Speedway was back in the mid-90s when this track was developed, created, and formed, they actually had pretty much designed this track up to be basically an area where not only stock car racing for NASCAR would be a big hit, but they also created it for IndyCar and all that. And here's the thing, with IndyCar, obviously that was back during a time when they had a little split going on, you see. So if for those at home that don't know the story, look this up on YouTube. But a guy by the name of I can't even, oh, for the life of me now, I can't even remember his name. But anyway, I'll look it up while we tell the story here. But the IndyCar split basically was caused by basically drivers unfortunately just not agreeing with the rules and the regulations, and also the fact that there was, you know, owners in there that were seemingly pouring on more to be the rich case, and the rich being accentuated over the actual drivers list and really telling skills. So the owner of Indianapolis Motor Speedway back at the time, which was basically he had taken this league, which was called IRL, Indy Racing League, and that's when that formed to then create what was for the Indy 500, whereas the US 500, where then the other folks, Indy Kart, had to then develop into the US 500, which was ran over at the Michigan International Speedway. And Auto Club Speedway was one of the tracks that IRL was very focused on more than anything else. They weren't worried about the road course as much as IndyCar was or any of that stuff. They were trying to get more exciting stuff done from the ovals end, because ovals, just like NASCAR, were becoming a big and popular thing. But obviously, by a lot of counts and everything else there, it did not work out as well as they wanted to and hoped for. And it's a great 4-part series, honestly, on YouTube. You just gotta look up here, but it's actually by a YouTuber by the name of NASCAR Man History. Look him up. The great guy, actually, and did a great job explaining the whole split and the whole issue there. And it really just gives you an idea of what times were like back in the days. But again, yeah, this, unfortunately, though, Auto Club Speedway, not a big battle stopping grounds for the open wheel kind of sanctuaries anymore, just because of those high speeds and races that they can create. But man, when it was on the show, though, when it was on the tracks, they did a great number of stuff down there. But another fun fact here about Auto Club Speedway is also the fact that this track, when it was developed, now keep in mind, folks, this is when it was being developed. You usually need to have a track developed, done, and cared for to actually get a spot on NASCAR's radar for a scheduled listing. But nope, when this track was being developed, it was being developed where NASCAR even point blank said, we will add this to our cup schedule for the next season once it is done. There are not, if any, tracks that I'm aware of that had literally set this example in or really gave that kind of leverage to the track owners and the drivers, but they did that. So when this track was created and developed, literally it had a guaranteed cup spot right out of the gate, so there wasn't really anything else to say or really do other than just go out and bring out the cars. And unfortunately, though, the track hasn't really built up as much of a reputation or as good of a condolence here, if you will, compared to Michigan International Speedway. This track actually is going to be somewhat demolished and refurbished, if you will. This is going to turn into a, what do they say, it was like a half-mile long, was it a half-mile long track or was it a mile long? I think it's, basically they're turning it into a they're turning it into a short track, if you will, compared to their super speedway style mentality. And the reason why and how they're doing the banking is very similar to how Bristol does theirs, and even Slinger Super Speedway does. That's what they're trying to come up with, they're trying to do. So I think what they're trying to really accentuate and bring up is possibly an area not just for, you know, NASCAR to come out with, but I think they're trying to build up an area for like wheel and modifieds and even super late models and all them. I think that's their mindset and their goal. Obviously more NASCAR focus and more short track focus, which fans at home, myself included, that's what we want. We want more short tracks on the schedule. So I thought it was just kind of something interesting, kind of fun to talk to you guys about as we're going through this race. But Lori Bennett Booth coming on board here tonight, saying we were supposed to be here at Daytona this past weekend through today. So Hayes was going to miss tonight, but because of Hurricane Ida, we had to stay home. Glad to be here with you guys tonight, though. Always enjoy PTM and RTC. Lori, appreciate your time here tonight, ma'am. And yeah, that is another thing too, folks. If you are down in Louisiana and the Texas region or anywhere near that unfortunate storm there where Hurricane Ida is popping up, please, for the life of us here at PTM Racing TV, we hope you are being safe, and we hope that you guys are going to be okay and get through this one just fine. Obviously, Iowa knows a thing or two about having a hurricane. We had one that should not even have popped up, but it did pop up in our state of all things. And let me tell you something, I don't know how you guys down the south end or the west ends can literally live through that stuff and constantly have it every single year thinking that's going to happen. That stuff is just a nightmare and is scarier than any tornado I've ever been a part of. I don't know how y'all can do it, but I do hope you all are okay down there and hope you're being safe, because again, we really do not want to hear or see anybody of our fams, our friends, our family in this community, whether it be in our broadcasting or the iRacing community, ever hear that we have lost or something tragically has done up to not only the lives of our fans and friends, but also maybe something that they have at stake and something at home, of course. So please do be safe, barricade yourself if you can, guys, and keep in touch with us. Let us know in the comment section, message us, let us know you are okay. We want to make sure everybody is alright. We want to make sure you guys are still out there and at least okay and safe. And if we're able to bring you some entertainment, that's all we really want. That's what we're here for. Speaking of entertainment right now, we haven't talked about this man in a while here, Jonathan Leach, and the number 48 Ford Mustang. Now this is a guy, a couple seasons ago, I would have put into the list in the radar as one of those proverbial underdogs. Now, well, he's not really necessarily an underdog anymore, as he's kind of just turned into a sophomore slash a junior veteran. But he has, in a way, kind of fallen back behind the waistband and the waistline here. He's kind of not really fallen from grace, just not as fast as he used to be. He's been more under control. He told me earlier today he hasn't really felt like he's had a perfect car dialed in every time. So he feels like he's got a lot more work to do down there, and he was hoping by now he would have had it figured out, but with these open steps, he said it really changes everything up, changes the game plan. So it's a lot more practicing and a lot more time and effort to be put in just to keep up. And we are certainly seeing that here tonight, as really maybe the shock of all shocks here. Parker White and Tyler Justice trading positions out here. Tyler Justice actually has been in that race lead for just pretty much majority of this day, ever since he got ahead of the Walter Esports crew. And Parker has been trying to catch him and trying to get a piece of him, but when you're 2 3/4 ahead of your driver, especially the guy that just plain dominated the last season, not just in race wins, but just in runs in general, honestly, I feel like it just kind of changes the game plan up and just really puts into my frame what this season is going to represent. This is not the usual seasons we see where one driver seems to get it figured out more than the other. Aaron Double Trouble Tribble had it figured out in the first season. Aiden the Iceman Kirker got it dialed in the second season. But it was, of course, you had the overwhelming story of Parker White. Whenever he was on the track, it was like, well, who was going to finish second? Because you knew he was going to be up in that front. You knew he was going to be up in that pack. But now, this is just a completely different landscape. It's a different world. It's just hard to believe. Lori Benabu saying thank you. We live 1/4 a mile from the Gulf, so it's just a way of life. I mean, I agree with you guys there, but I mean, I don't know how the heck you guys can deal with that crap stuff, man. First, yeah, y'all got enough dangerous animals down there, and then y'all got that kind of now you got hurricanes and stuff. Like, man, I'd rather have knowing there's bears around my place and make sure I have my shotgun ready than to have to worry about a snake or like a rattlesnake kind of popping up in my shoe or something, or a scorpion. Much less any kind of hurricane just gonna come out of nowhere and just strike when the iron's hot. At least with tornadoes, you at least got a way to shelter yourself. Tammy Reed saying Keelan is from Louisiana. All is well where we are. Tammy, I'm good to hear from that, and I'm good to see Keelan is out here racing with us and still at least trying to somewhat put on a bit of a show, put on a bit of a fight. Hope he is. Hope you all are doing okay down there. I know you just said that, but you know, always want to make sure and double check. Can't be too sure around here, you know what I mean? Justin R. Smith right now, the Toyota Supra. Now I was gonna say Tundra, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's the truck version. And then the Camry is obviously the Cup Series. Funny thing to know, a lot of fans when they were revealing the next gen cars, a lot of fans, myself included, were kind of expecting to see the Supra possibly be put on the Cup Series instead of the Camry, because honestly, I think the Supra is just a little bit more mean looking, a little more sportsy. Whereas the Mustangs and the the Camaros, obviously they're more muscle based. But I will say the Supra, not a bad looking ride by any means. I've seen a few of them out on the track here and out on the actual streets, and I think they look pretty good for their cars and designs. Joshua Medlock saying, I watched that storm make landfall in Louisiana. Hurricane Ida was a monster. The winds on that storm gusted over 180 miles per hour in some places. Grand Isle is unhittable right now from the reports. I heard it could take 3 to 5 years to rebuild Grand Isle. Holy cow. Yikes. And I thought Cedar Rapids here in Iowa got struck hard where we had to take like 2 or 3 years just to build that place back up after what Hurricane Derecho, whatever they call it around here, they did to us. I took it way back. Grand Isle got it worse than us. A little bit of a wild child appears in our show here tonight. It's the wild child / the potato master, Eli Childs, joining us in. Eli, good to see you, buddy. Good to hear from you as well, and hopefully we'll see a little bit more of you come next week on Tuesday night when you run in from the actual Duels and Clash now into the main event for that race. If you missed it last night as well, folks, head over to our YouTube and catch all the action that we had. I had my good friend Dustin Sparkulicious O'Nicker joining me in that day. He was calling the race with me down in the Daytona Clash and Duels. It's one race you cannot miss as the Champion Power Equipment Fast and Fun Cup Series look to try to take aim on a hard race fought battle coming up next Tuesday. You cannot miss it. And again, if you guys haven't already, be sure to subscribe over on our YouTube and PTM Racing TV, and check out our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram line as well. Always helps us out and appreciate the support. Facebook will always be live, whereas YouTube will have the races and all that no matter what, so do not fear or do not faint, folks. The 484 now being passed in. That is Mr. Brady Burger Time Weileman. Kind of tagged ahead there as you see him moving up across the field, and I'm kind of curious to know what's going on with that front end of that car there. Bruce, give me a look at that one. Oh, it's a Newsmax TV. I was like, what TV is that right here? Who's TV company? That's just the old Newsmax TV for Brady Burger Time Weileman. So Newsmax 44 Chevrolet Camaro right now, currently a lap or two down, unfortunately, here because Tyler Justice, Parker White, and Brendan John Kohler just do not know when to hold back the throttle and hold back the momentum. And to be honest, right now, folks, only 15 laps to go. Unless Tyler Justice does something bad or there's a caution that pops out, there is no way Parker White is going to lose out on this one. He has just been lights out this entire night, man. Just pure, unalterated horsepower, just pure good racing, and just really showcasing what he can do and what he is capable of here. This has just been tremendous stuff. Joshua Medlock saying I'm a trained storm spotter, so I get all the information mostly from the NWS, National Weather Service, SBC, and Storm Prediction Center. And of course from Forest Trust Reports, so I was not down there though. Can't afford to chase hurricanes. Well, you might as well come to Iowa then. You can chase tornadoes if you'd like. We have plenty of them, so you can have your fun and choose to there. Which, by the way, isn't that kind of a double whammy though? If you think about it, Texas is really got hurricanes and they get tornadoes down there too, from what I recall. Mostly hurricanes, but still. That's like a double whammy. I don't want none of that happen. Or heck, a hurricane pops up and a tsunami struck. Then the coast really gets hit with that kind of stuff, man. Like, no way I want nothing to do with that. Yeah, Josh was saying I live in Arkansas, bud. No, I know all about tornadoes. Oh. I didn't even really think Arkansas got kind of tornadoes. I always thought of them more as just kind of more of an act. I always thought they were less about tornadoes and just more of us just trying to survive the hurricanes. And so I guess you guys got both double whammies over there? That's a bit of a crazy time we live in here, I guess. But hey, at least we're making friends in the chat right now. Sartaj, man, well, he's not making any friends with Justin or Spiff, though, that's for sure. The 66 right now does not want any piece of this one other than to jump ahead. As the Passion Squad 66 now tries to put the Supra ahead of there of Sartaj, man. Sartaj rocking still that Nebula Esports group. Firing up around the corners and firing them off on down the speed stretch to the back straightaway. Now Sartaj, one thing I'm noticing is he's getting a really good run on the stretches, but he's not getting a very good turn ahead of Smith. Smith seems like he's really taking it in time and in stride here. No, we don't get hurricanes. You know, you're only 2 states above me. LOL, Medlock. Yeah, I know. Lori Bennett saying, "I'll take hurricanes over tornadoes any day. At least we know when they're coming." We need to know when they're coming. We know when those tornadoes come, Lori. We just simply have a basement just in case we don't. And then also saying, Joshua also saying, Louisiana at the coast, Arkansas above, Louisiana, the Missouri, then Iowa. Yep, I know. So, race fans, really it's been a lot cleaner of a night, we can say that, compared to what we had last time out. Again, nothing against the drivers or what had happened. It was just unfortunately just the way, the old mentality of old Rockingham Speedway that brought to their stage and brought to the show. But here tonight, it's been pretty much clean as a whistle, no troubles there, although there is a little bit of problems down there for Tyler. No. 017, major damage. Whoa. Major damage on his end with only 11 laps to go. This is a tough break for him, but we're going to take a look at the PTM Racing replay to see what had transpired here that caused him to wreck out. See if we can get a look at this here. Hold on, we have a little bit of footage that'll pop up. Just give us 1 second here. It'll pop up right about... Come on, producer. It's supposed to pop up now, isn't it? Oh, you see the smoke right there. There is smoke. And there's a 017. Jammed right up onto the wall protection there. Oh! And he gets a big lick and a half there on the back straightaway. You can see him just smashing the walls in between. Tyler is okay though, although the car, not so much. Driver is okay. He's okay to stabilize him down and try to finish this race out though. His night is over with and done, but the fields, they have one thing left. They've only got about less than 10 laps to go with only 9 remaining here for Tyler Justice. Tammy's saying, at least for hurricanes, we have a couple days to prepare. You guys saying, we have days in advance. Okay, they're smart ones. I'm going to say this right now. We did not have any days in advance when Hurricane Derecho came in. When Derecho, whatever they call it here, we had 5 minutes to prepare for a hurricane. You can't tell me that we have days in advance when ours struck, because we did not get that lucky. So I'll give you that. But at least with tornadoes, we at least have an idea within the time slot of about 5 or 6 hours that it's going to come. So that's when we just make sure we get everything situated. Whoa. Yes, we're going to talk about situating things out. Apparently, the sweetheart found himself in a bit of a hurricane or a tornado, Vidal. That thing took a high spin, wind turn tunnel straight to the right. What the heck happened to the 91 of Kyle Camper? There's another look at it. You can see the 91. That ball parts machine is already damaged up badly. I think he was trying to head to pit road. He tries to right into the grass and just smacks the wall completely, destroying the car even more than it already was. He's now down in pit road, but good lord, that was a hard lick and a half there, unfortunately, for the radio sweetheart himself. What a tough break there for him and his crew here. He just cannot get it down here tonight, unfortunately. Distance is spread out right now. Still really a 4-second gap ahead. Tyler Justice has got this one all but wrapped up. 6 more to go this time by for the Gearhead Coffee Machine Chevrolet Camaro number 12. You might as well call him the Hound of Justice. I think it might be his nickname now. I think we got it. Tyler the Hound of Justice. How you think about it? It's like a Shield reference there, guys. You ever watch WWE? A little Shield reference in there, you know? Maybe I just watched too much. Maybe I just watched too much wrestling when I was growing up. I don't know. I don't watch it anymore, to be honest with you. But I do have a few lines here, though. But now Tyler has got the race lead, pretty much. For the really kind of surprisingly, he's got it wrapped up and secured. Unless Parker White has really saved these last 5 laps, as like his go-to, just put a full throttle pedal to the metal, pound even more so than ever I've seen anyone do here on the show. Top 10 right now, Keelan Belshaw, the 18. Good to see him really start to put the passing squad 18 in a good spot, really showing that he can still hang with them. His other teammate there in the number 33, Tyler Kahn, stabilizing down 9th. Then you got 8th position, Wes Weidman. Good to see the mayor is still in this hunt, still in the showcase. And the other passing squad leader in the 66, Justin R. Smith. Definitely helping out him and his team and his crew with a little bit of team points and team help. While Nebula Esports represented out from Sartaj Mann with Walter Esports guys of Hayes Booth in the 2, currently in 5th place. 4th being Christian Swenson. 3rd, of course, Brendan John Kohler. Then you know who the other 2 front runners are. Parker White and Tyler, the Hound of Justice, if you will. And really, he hounded all day long on Parker. And again, Tyler, if you don't like that nickname, you can feel free to come at me for it, buddy. I will try to change it. Kyle Durbin saying, let's get a Bodega, good old Jason Sanders. Okay. I just swear I just outdated myself there. Well, here we go. 3 to go. And there's only really one spot left that needs to be taken away from, and that's really who's going to finish this one out. These guys, you cannot say enough just how fast and how well diverse they have been all day long. Extremely consistent through the corners, extremely consistent on their runs, and really everybody tonight ran probably the cleanest of all races we've seen here on the show in a time or two. And really, my opinion wise, really it's been a great showcase of what the Pro Series are capable of and what they can do. But I think this is going to boil down to one major factor that I don't think anybody's really talking about, and that is the fact this has literally evened the odds out for anybody, and I mean anybody, that wants to be on the top of the radar, wants to be top of the list. The only way you're going to do that is really get smart with your pit strategies, with your racing strategies, and making sure you have got a car set up directly for a full-length run, a full long run. And I think that's exactly what these guys had in mind back at Rockingham Speedway. But here at Auto Club Speedway, at least, now it finally came into fruition, and it came into a decent plan and a half. White flag is out. And the number 12, Gearhead Coffee, number 12, Chevrolet Camaro, may just be punching himself in to a possible resurgence and looking to show up the boys. Out of turn 2, he's only got 2 more turns left to get through here. He'll lead him down the back straightaway. This one's all but wrapped up. He's still getting time on Parker White, of all things. Can you believe this? Boys, we've seen the best. We've seen the Iceman ice the field. We've seen Parker White just completely destroy a field. But now, read him and weep. There is a new challenger that has come amongst RTC. His name is Tyler Justice. He wins at Auto Club Speedway. Absolutely incredible showcase from the drivers here. Everybody putting on a show and giving it the old try-hard dash to the end. No one gave an inch. Your final top 5 we show you right here. I'm coming across the finish line here now. And a major, and I mean a major win there for Tyler Justice and the Phase 2 Motorsports crew. And is this a sign of things to come? Is this literally the beginning of a possible resurgence in RTC? Are we going to see more drivers like Tyler Justice come out on the track and show up some of the best and show up some of the toughest that come through the Sparks? That remains to be the question that will need to be answered later on. But race fans, to those that have tuned in on here on our YouTube or tuned in on the Facebook live stream, I cannot thank you enough for tuning on in with us here. Please, again, if you would, like and follow us up here on our Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube end, and give us a little bit of help and love. And also show some love to the boys here in the Race Tech Going iRacing League. They gave you a show. They tried to do their best and fight it out amongst each other, but they certainly tore down the house on a long, long green flag run. And tonight it would go, of course, to Tyler Justice, who outpaced and outwitted the whole field, showing just how it's done here tonight and pulling off a few pretty good burnouts there. I'll give him that one. Race results now popping up here on screen, presented by Race Tech Coatings here tonight. Here it is. Tyler, the Hound of Justice, wins this one. He'll go ahead against up second place Parker White. A strong showing from him as usual, but falling victim to Tyler Justice in a really impressive display from both guys, but kind of scary to say the least. Third going to Brendan Kohler. Great showing from him once again. Good to see that the Walter Esports guys are fighting it in hard this season. Christian Swenson with a good showing from him. Fifth going to Hayes in the booth. Sixth to Sartaj, man. Good to see him showing up a little bit more. Still new to the show. Justin R. Smith in the 7th place position. 8th to West the Mayor Weidman. 9th going, of course, to Tyler Kahn, while 10th goes to Keelan Belsha, rounding out your top 10 for this event and this race here as we showcase the rest of our field and their individual positions as we're about ready to sign off down to the exits down here on the front straightaway. I am heading on down here, and it's time to have a little listen in on our boys here and have a little talk here as we're going to go ahead and drop them in, drop them down, and it's time to get down to business, boys. Let's go ahead and have a word in with Mr. Brendan Kohler. Now on to the show. He now joins me here real quick in the pit road here, ladies and gentlemen, coming out of the car. Brendan John Kohler joins us now. Brendan, it was certainly a great start, a hard start here for you and the Walter Esports crew, but did not finish out as well as I think you maybe were hoping for with the crew. But hey, still, two guys in the top 5, and you managed to pull yourself off a podium, nearly taking down the likes of Parker White and Tyler Justice. Good stuff down there, sir.
Yeah, that was a frustrating race. We were off all night, and those guys just beat us. They were way faster. Gotta go back to work for the next oval race we have. I know we have Sonoma coming up, but yeah, that was a frustrating race, but I'll take third.
For sure, we're going down. Yeah, we talk about the Oval Series as well here. Really, I got to ask you, since we are heading to a road course down there, of course, being Sonoma, how much of a difference maker is that going to make for you and your team, you think, when it comes to the open setups there compared to what you were dealing with here on the Ovals?
I mean, you're kind of in a tighter box when you go to a road course. Everyone will be a lot closer setup-wise, but driver matters a lot more. So personally, I struggle on road courses, so it'll be a challenging week, but just going to do the best I can.
As we say on the show, there is no pain with no gain. So, but nevertheless, here as well, with a little bit of practice and a little bit of mishap there, I think you might be able to get something dialed in. But nevertheless, Mr. Kohler, appreciate tuning in here tonight. I got to ask you, who got you to the dance and who do you want to thank here?
Just gotta thank everybody, Joe, Hayes, Jared, and all their work and testing we put in.
Absolutely. Well, nevertheless, Brendan, appreciate your time here tonight, my friend. Our best wishes of luck. Congratulations once again on a top 3 finish here down at Auto Club.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brendan John Kohler there in the number 36 machine. We're going to go take it down now and talk with our second place driver here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome down into pit road, Mr. Parker White. He now joins me here as he's out of the car and here standing right beside me here. And Parker, talk me through this one, bud, because we've talked about this before, whereas you've completely gone out there and just dominated and just pretty much wrecked the whole competition with your speed and air and control you had. But has this open setups now really evened the playing field out and changed the game for you and these drivers? Because Tyler Justice certainly put on a show for you and the guys there to really try to beat him out on.
Well, actually, for me personally, I'd say that it gives me an advantage because I used to play around with setups and see what does what and all that. So I have a decent knowledge on how these setups work, and my teammates and I have, or my old teammates, I guess we could say, have really worked on trying to learn these setups. So we have a general idea on like knowing what to do to make the car go fast, like short run or long run. Which long run is what we want here. But Tyler Justice is just like amazing with these setups. Him and his team. Like I go and run these B open races, and if he's in there, I already know he's probably gonna win. I'm sure they've been doing this a lot more than we have. So, yeah, like you said, he just came out here and just like completely just yeah, he just put on a show. So, not really any surprise there. It's kind of weird because I'm always thinking about the Walter Esports guys. I'm like, oh, well, they're probably going to be fast short run, but not long run. And I keep completely forgetting about Tyler Justice and his team. So I'll definitely keep them in mind. Like I've always kept them in mind because it's Tyler Justice. Like he's extremely fast. His whole team is. But we just didn't really hit the set all that well. We didn't do as much testing as we did for Rockingham. Uh, like we got a really fast setup from Michigan and be open a few weeks ago, so we just kind of took that over here, made a few adjustments to it. It felt like it was going to be pretty loose from what I was feeling in practice, but we get in the race, then this probably didn't play into into our hands because it was going to be a fuel strategy race if it went green all the way. So I had to like stab the clutch a bit on corner entry just to make sure I'd be able to make it to the end, and that kind of tightened the car up a bit. So I had to loosen it up on the pit stop. All my teammates did too. So that loosened it up a bit because we were just way too tight the first run, and then we're pretty even there in the second run. Maybe just a little bit on edge, but it was pretty good on that last run. But definitely a nice point stay here in P2, but got beat by 5 seconds. But if I'm correct, Sonoma's next week, and there's going to be a new tire model and new shocks on the Xfinity car for the road courses. So that should be extremely fun next week.
It certainly will indeed. Here, any final shout outs here before you and your crew here tonight before we head on out?
Yeah, just gotta thank you, Christian, for the broadcast. Just my teammates, Cole Williams, Mitch Hobbs for the setup. Uh, we put in some work for it, but like not as much we should have. Also got to thank North Source Racing, SRD, and Simmons Studios.
I appreciate your time here tonight, Parker. I definitely got to believe you made all those folks and everyone proud at home here watching you down here on the track here at Auto Club. Our best wishes and luck to you as you head down to Sonoma for next week. Congratulations still here on your second place finish at Southern Cali's Auto Club.
All right, thank you, Christian.
Yep, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Parker White, the number 95 here coming away with another strong showing in a strong position. And now, ladies and gentlemen, joining me here now from Phase 2 Motorsports, your race winner here in Victory Lane, Auto Club Speedway, Tyler Justice now joining me in. And Tyler, hope you don't mind I give you a little bit of a funny nickname. I think you can hound me for it later. You can go back and listen in on. But maybe you can tell me if you don't like it or not. But nevertheless here, I gotta ask you, what the heck did you have in that thing that was really going ahead of all things Parker White? Because last season we were trying to find a way to put a bounty on that guy and beat him out. You literally just came out here and just showed everyone up. What did you do down there that everyone else could figure out?
Honestly, man, it's just I got to give all credit to Sean Powell. He put together a heck of a setup for tonight, and it was quick. I didn't really know what to expect coming in here. I haven't raced at Auto Club in forever. It's been a while, so I didn't really have any expectations coming in this race, and then didn't have the greatest qualifying effort. I think we started around 10th place, but just kind of started off easy there, see what we had, and we started. Really started noticing we were getting good runs coming off the corner. So I think that's where a lot of the speed came from. We were just able to get on the throttle a lot quicker to make the straightaways super long. That's where we kind of benefited at tonight. But like I said, all credit to Sean. He put together a heck of a piece, and we were able to have a clean race. And shout out to all the guys in here. They ran a good clean race tonight, and we didn't have but I don't know. I think we only had that one caution in the beginning, I believe. But yeah, overall good night and pleased with it.
Yeah, the false start there, but everything else pretty much came through into fruition. Everyone kind of got everything dialed in, and it was really, honestly, pretty one of the cleanest races we've seen here in a while. But hey, man, I gotta ask you, as you are walking away with the W and the win here at Southern Cali, as you head down a little further, we're heading further north here. Is that where Sonoma is? Or I don't
I
think we're.
believe so.
I think we're going up north here now because we're heading to Sonoma next time out. Who do you want to thank here, and what will be the strategy going into Sonoma?
Just try to go win, I guess. I really love road course racing. Sonoma's not my best road course. I would probably have to put it towards the bottom of my road courses there. But I mean, the past few times we've gone there, we've gotten a little bit better. So I feel confident about it. Just got to get the practice in this week and get ready for it. But I feel good about all that. But yeah, other than that, man, I want to give a shout out to all my sponsors: Matrix Muscle Cars, Amsoil, Gearhead Coffee, obviously, and thank everybody in here for a good race tonight. Thank Sean, thank Christian, my teammates, and thank you for broadcasting tonight.
Absolutely indeed, here, Tyler. Appreciate your time here tonight. Congratulations once again, bud, on a race win here at the elusive Auto Club Speedway.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, here your race winner here tonight, Mr. Tyler Justice, as he once again wins out here on our circuit. First time we've ever seen him in victory lane, and I gotta believe we may see a little bit more of that from the young man. He seems to get these things dialed in and figured out perfectly as they can get. But race fans, that is all but gonna do it here tonight. From our broadcasting partners over down there with Race Tech Coatings iRacing League, to you fans and friends at home, thank you for tuning in. Be sure you are over on our YouTube ad and getting things figured out there. Also on our Facebook live stream, we thank you for all those that we were talking with and having a good conversation and fun with here tonight. It's been a long, hard day. I'm going to say that right now, but we're not done with this week yet. Doubleheader time coming up your way. Don't worry, folks. It's coming, and it is going to be a big one tomorrow night. Richmond Raceway for the Super Lates, and then finally we will see the big rundown with the IROC guys. We'll see how it all plays out. But for now, I must leave you with this. Please, everybody that is under from a Hurricane Ida or still working for the effects of there, I wish you guys nothing but the best and wishes and hope everything is okay. I love you guys. Please be safe. I will see you very, very soon when the green flag is flying on PTM Racing TV.